مكان احنا معاكم في الحلقة النهاردة بنتكلم مع سعادة السفير دكتور إلخان بلوخوف سفير جمهورية أذربيجان لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. حديثنا النهاردة هيكون على العلاقات المصرية الأذربيجانية، بس اسمحوا لي في البداية ان انا ارحب بسعادة سفير. Your Excellency, thank you so much for this interview one more time to talk about the relations between Egypt and Azerbaijan.
Thank you for having me in your auditory, in your program, and we're more than delighted to share my knowledge and my information about Azerbaijan with your esteemed auditory.
Your Excellency, I would like to start by the visit of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Azerbaijan. This is the first Egyptian president visit to Azerbaijan. How can you see this visit?
It is historical visit. It's very important for strengthening bilateral relation. As probably you may know, our previous president, late President Heydar Aliyev, visited Egypt in 1994, and in 2007 our current president Ilham Aliyev visited Egypt, and now we hosted with honor the president of Egypt. It was first historical visit, and it definitely opened a lot of doors for development of bilateral relation, not only in political but any other spheres. It should be mentioned that after this historical visit, our cabinet of ministers adopted the action plan to strengthen and deepen relation between two countries, and this action plan touch and cover practically all the sphere of bilateral and multilateral relations.
That takes me to another question, which is about the volume of trade between the two countries. How much is the volume of trade between Egypt and Azerbaijan, and what is the main export and import product in between the two countries?
Taking into consideration very high contact on political levels, as I mentioned, visit of presidents, visit of Minister of Foreign Affairs, speakers of parliament, our trade do not correspond to that high level of political relation. Unfortunately, in 2021, the turnover, general turnover between two countries was a little bit more than 36 million US dollars, which absolutely do not correspond to the potential which exists to develop this relation. That's why this is an area where we should concentrate our efforts and our attention.
What about the investment? Is there any kind of investment between the two countries? And if not, is there any future potential to have this kind of investments?
During the visit of His Excellency President al-Sisi to Azerbaijan, he met with Azerbaijani business people, with leading business circles, where potential areas where we can jointly invest or increase the trade was discussed. And one of them is pharmaceutical area. For example, Egypt well known with its pharmaceutical products, and Azerbaijan is a country which importing practically 95% of its needs in this area. Construction, it's also an area where we definitely can jointly work to build mutually beneficial relation. Geographical position of Azerbaijan allow to access to the big markets around our region, and Egypt also playing the role of gateway to the African continent. That's why I believe that we together, relevant ministers, should work on more precise plans and also bring together business people where they can also see and offer their ideas how we can jointly invest in the different projects.
Is there any kind of cooperation in the field of agriculture?
Agriculture is an area where definitely we can find a lot of potential for cooperation. Azerbaijan itself, after the oil and gas, we are well known with our agriculture products. We're exporting our product to the many countries around the world. Egypt is a country which importing the agriculture products, and we definitely can see the potential on the area of cooperation in agriculture and processing the food products for future export to the both countries.
And what about the oil and energy? Both countries already have mineral resources from oils and energy. So is there any kind of cooperation might be in between the two countries in this field, or even we can say some kind of researches that can be held in between the two countries in this field?
Definitely, if in 90s, Egypt was a country which used to import a lot of energy products. Here, now you yourself turn to the exporter of gas, for example, and you are looking to the new market with your potential of renewable energy, green energy, similarly Azerbaijan. And we definitely can exchange our experience in field of research on training of our potential experts or specialists. Azerbaijan always provide the space in his educational institution to train the future engineers, oil and gas engineers. Similarly, our students can come and investigate potential of your local market in sphere of medicine and other spheres.
If I ask Your Excellency about the cultural exchange and cooperation in between the two countries, what can you say about it?
In 1994, when our late president, Ghadir Ali, visited Egypt, he mentioned that in 1973, he was invited to the Cairo Opera. And he also mentioned that even in 50s and 60s, a cultural group from Azerbaijan used to visit to Egypt, and Egyptian also used to come to Azerbaijan. And this cooperation is definitely on his track, continuing. This year in October, we will have a day of Azerbaijani music in Cairo Opera. It's dedicated to the memory 100th anniversary of Hyder Aliyev, and it will be Azerbaijani melodies which will be performed there. But beside that, definitely it's huge potential for both sides for mutual exchange and visit people of art and culture to the both countries.
There was a meeting between Your Excellency and His Excellency the Minister of Tourism. Can you please tell us about the conclusion of this meeting and what kind of cooperation can be done in between the two countries in the field of tourism?
It was a very fruitful meeting where I discussed with His Excellency Minister potential in area of tourism, especially after the post-COVID area, where more and more doors are open. We believe that it will be very useful if Azerbaijan and Egypt will have a direct flight between our capitals, which definitely will lead to the boosting of tourism exchange, people exchange. Currently, we have a once-a-week flight from Baku to Sharm el-Sheikh, but Egypt is a big country with much more potential in different cities. Thanks to the efforts of Egyptian side, today Azerbaijani citizens can get online electronic visa without need to go to the embassy. And we are now currently from our side, Azerbaijani side, also working on easing process of the issuing visa for Egyptian citizens who want to visit Azerbaijan. And as I mentioned, it's not only Egypt, but Egypt play a role of gateway to the north of the African continent. So its potential also can be utilized and definitely will be utilized.
Talking about the Islamic country, Azerbaijanis, leads me to talk about and ask about the Azhar al-Sharif and its influence in Azerbaijan. Can you please tell us more about it, and if there is any cooperation in between the country and the Azhar al-Sharif in any field, rather than only spreading the Islam rules and Islam's beliefs?
Egypt, of course, it's one of the leading countries in Islamic Ummah, and Al-Azhar is playing his own essential role on developing ideology of Islam. And definitely it is cooperation between two countries. A number of Azerbaijani students, not only theologians, but also students from different fields, used to come and study here in Egypt, in Al-Azhar, Cairo University, and Shams and others. And now we are building again, rebuilding that relation to bring back potential for students who want to come. For example, Egypt definitely is a leader on studying of Arabic language, classical Arabic language, teaching of it. And this is an area where definitely a country can find a lot of grounds for mutual exchange, and now these talks happen. between our state university and different universities here in Egypt. But beside that, we also have to see the education and sphere of education as a potential way to reach the mind and hearts of the people on the ground. And it's easiest way to get to them through the education of people in both countries. And we're welcoming Egyptian students to come to Azerbaijan to study, and Azerbaijani students come to study in Egypt.
Your Excellency, I would like to ask you about your favorite touristic destination here in Egypt.
It's a very difficult question because country itself, it's huge touristic destinations, and you can find any type of the tourism, starting from Sharm el-Sheikh, where you can enjoy the beautiful sea, finishing Cairo itself with hundreds of historical monuments which allow you to trace the history of not only Egypt but all the regions. But as a historian, by my own nature, by my primary education, of course, for me as a researcher, first places where I go here in Egypt, in Cairo especially, it's museums, to investigate, to see what kind of potential you have. And of course, I'm waiting for time when your new museum next to the pyramids, Grand Museum, will be open for its full scale, to go and see what's new I can learn about Egypt from this museum. And it's also important to put this point as a spot to allow researchers from both countries, academicians from both countries, to come and study your beautiful Alexandria library. I visited myself, and it's really amazed me. And what's also made me very pleased there that it has a statue of our poet, well-known poet Nizami Gencevi there. So people know about the Azerbaijanians' presence in this library. It's also special reserve or corner with books about Azerbaijan and books which came from Azerbaijan.
And did your Excellency try the Egyptian cuisine, and what's your favorite dish?
I love fish, seafood. From this point, I definitely enjoy the fish here. For sure, your sweets, of course, their most famous sweets. I was lucky to be here during the Ramadan time, and I really enjoy the Egyptian cuisine with all of its varieties. I was invited by my friends to the very traditional places, to the villages where we sat and had different type of Egyptian food. That's why it's very difficult to stand on something specific. But definitely it's very rich and very tasty. That's why I'm gaining weight here.
Azerbaijan, the horses have an important place in the people's lives, and as we know, there is a certain specific breed of horses that's well known in Azerbaijan. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, you are correctly mentioned that it is a special breed which belongs to the Azerbaijan and our region. We call it Karabakh breed, Karabakh horses. Originally, this breed was developed many centuries ago, and now we are lucky that after the 30 years of problem and occupation of Karabakh region, we are back and we can continue this tradition on his historical place in his historical spot. But in general, yes, historically, horses played a very important role in life of Azerbaijani people, life of and traditional approach of the people. And like everywhere, especially here in Egypt, horse, it's a demonstration of your wealth, of your strongness, of your presence in your country.
Yeah, here in Egypt we have the Arabian horse, or something very important as a breed in the whole Arabian area. But do you think this kind of similarities in between the two countries? And if there any other similarities in between the people of Azerbaijan and Egypt, did you see, Your Excellency, here?
Of course, it's a number of similarities, but most important is hospitality of both nations. I feel here like at home. Even though that I do not speak Arabic, I don't feel myself abandoned because people trying to help me. People trying to support me with any issues, whatever I need. And we also have a lot of words which was incorporated to the Azerbaijani language from Arabic language. That's why if my colleagues and friends speak slowly, I can understand some of the expressions, some of the words, and it's also give you a feeling of you are at home. Similarly, when people go to Azerbaijan, Egyptian peoples also met their warm approach, warm environment where they can feel themselves in their own country. We're sharing culture, we are sharing same religion, we're sharing practically very similar cuisines and foods, and we sharing our attitude to enjoy the life. That's why from that point, I'm pretty sure that if you go to Azerbaijan, you also will see a number of people who are smiling and always feel themselves happy, like here.
One more question, I would like to know about the women place in Azerbaijan, the role of women in Azerbaijan. What can you tell us about it?
We are first in Islamic world and one of the first in European and American continent who granted the woman a right to vote in 1918. So it's happened much before than it's happened in the countries which today claim themselves developed democracies. That's why the role of the woman in Azerbaijani political, social, cultural life is very important, very essential. Today, women are represented practically in all branches, in parliament, in executive power, in the business, and we even have a special programs which encourage the women to increase their role in political, social, and business life of Azerbaijan. We have a special committee on issue of women and families, and this committee also providing the necessary help and support to the ladies who want to set their own problems or resolve their own problems. But again, it is probably we inherited it from our Islamic and Muslim past, where role of the woman very important.
We're glad to hear that you like it here. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for one more time for this interview, because this one was about the relation between Egypt and Azerbaijan, and we wish you all the best here in your time.
And shukran, alhamdulillah, next time we can meet and talk even about more achievements between our countries.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، خلصنا معكم لقائنا مع سعادة السفير دكتور الخان بلوخوف سفير جمهورية أذربيجان لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. في الحلقة النهاردة تحدثنا عن العلاقات ما بين مصر وأذربيجان، وتحدثنا أيضا عن نقدر نقول التعاون في مجالات متعددة بين البلدين، وهي الطاقة وأيضا التعليم وغيرها من المجالات. بتمنى أن تكونوا استفدتوا معنا في حلقة النهاردة، وأشوفكم على خير في الحلقة القادمة، وإلى اللقاء.